Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am looking at a few of the mounds around the St. John's River, particularly the one on Murphy Island, which used to be Dunn's Island. And this is up in northeast Florida. We're looking at a picture right now. It says the Dunn's Island that Bartram explored is now known as Murphy Island. It is viewed here from west of the St. John's River, looking to the east toward what Bartram called Dunn's Lake, now Crescent Lake. The point where Dunn's Creek, which leads to Crescent Lake, enters the St. John's River, is shown as the extreme left of Murphy Island. So there it is out in the middle of the St. John's River, and this is called Buffalo Bluff, and it is skirted around the Seven Sisters Islands, which I think is really interesting since, the Seven Sisters are related to the Palladians, and we also have the Seven Sisters Springs on the other side of Florida. So let's see, this used to be an Indian trading store. Let's see, there's the little trading store there. I guess it's still there. Storage building at Stokes Landing, once the site of Spalding's Lower Trade Store. Now in the commentary, it says Dunn's Island is now Murphy Island. During the British years, it was granted to Lord Adam Gordon and named Tinian Island. Spalding's lower store was located at today's Stokes Landing, about 7 miles south of Palatka. Alachua referred to Cuskawilla in the Alachua Prairie near present-day Gainesville. John Bertram did not visit the Alachua Prairie, but his son William did, a visit which prompted some of his most memorable writing and drawings. And let's see on here. All right, in William Bartram's book, it says the Great Alachua Savanna in the province of East Florida. In his report to Dr. Fothergill, Bartram described the savanna as a vast plain of water in the middle of a pine forest. It may be termed the Asylum of Birds, courtesy of the Natural History Museum in London. And let's see, where did I want to go next? So here is a newspaper article, and it's dated Saturday, February 12th, 1876, Daily Inter-Ocean, Chicago, Illinois. A mound story from Florida. The Palatka, Florida Herald of January 22nd gives the following statement concerning the opening of an Indian mound, but it must be considered as among those stories which require corroboration. We learn that the Indian mound on Murphy's Island was opened, or rather entered, by a party on Wednesday last. This mound is one of the largest on the river and has excited more than ordinary interest among our scientific visitors. But Colonel Hart, proprietor of the island upon which the mound stands, heretofore persisted in his refusal to have this relic of past ages disturbed. On Wednesday, however, a party from the Putnam, with others, took a steamer for the island. It was agreed to open the mound at its base. After making a breach of 35 feet, they discovered a hard wall made of coquina or shell rock. This wall was cemented, and was ornamented with various figures of warriors with bows and arrows and various reptiles. After much difficulty, a breach was made in the wall, and by the light of the torch, several of the party entered. Much surprised, they found themselves within a vault 8 feet high, with a room 12 by 15 feet long, with armed warriors encased in niches, all in a state of petrification. This is certainly a most wonderful discovery, and has produced a profound sensation. In view of this important discovery, Colonel Hart has stationed a guard to prevent parties making way with these wonderful objects. Murphy's Island will be, no doubt, the Mecca of the St. Johns River. So, okay, that was February 1876, and pretty interesting that these people, regardless of Colonel Hart saying that he refused to have this place disturbed, that a party took it upon themselves and headed out to the island and just went for it. And, it's interesting that they say that the warriors were petrified, and we also see this in a lot of other relics of the past, whether that be tree stumps or statues that look like it could have been a human that was petrified. So, I don't know. There was definitely some kind of a natural disaster, or maybe they had some kind of weird technology. So, okay, that was in February of 1876. This is 2 months later, April 15th, 1876, from the Daily Albany Argus, Albany, New York. A remarkable discovery in Florida. We learn that the Indian Mound on Murphy's Island was opened, or rather entered by a party a few days ago. Oh, never mind. This was not what I was looking for. Okay, here it is. This is March 13th, 1875, New Haven, Connecticut, Columbian Register. Florida to be developed, Indian mounds yielding their treasures. Last night, as we were putting our fruitful sheet to press, we were startled by the appearance of Mr. Alexander Zermas, a gentleman living on Dunn's Lake, who excited our attention by his extraordinarily nervous and pale appearance, and who held within his hands specimens of what appeared to be crystallized copper. He held them forth to us, asking if we knew what they were, and then related the following seemingly incredulous story. Quotes, I have a tract of about 100 across of land upon which there are several Indian mounds. For some weeks past, with the assistance of 3 men, I have been clearing a portion of this land with a view towards planting orange trees. This morning, one of my colored men, while clearing away brush from one of those mounds, struck upon some hard substance that seemed to give a light back, and called me to come and see it. I at once discovered what I thought or think is a rich gold and copper quartz rock. Upon digging deeper, I found the specimens that you now hold. I called my other men and opened the mound, finding the remains of what seemed to be Indians, but from their great length of bones and peculiarly shaped faces, I should think belonged to a tribe not in the memory of man. Now that's pretty interesting. One skeleton in particular struck me to be remarkable for length and size of bone. It was at least 9 feet in length, and the knee joints are about 17 inches in circumference. I mean, that's pretty big. In the cave or mound, I also found peculiar shaped bone arrows, the heads of the arrows having been set with a substance resembling the nickel of our present day, but time has so corroded these arrowheads that I cannot tell of what nature of metal they are. There were some other things found in this mound, which you will pardon me if I do not at present reveal, but I was anxious that you should see these quartz specimens. I do not believe that they were formed since the building of the mound, but were thrown up and unnoticed by the tribe. I will give you further information when I have time for further research. Here is your chance now, all you who have Indian mounds upon your places, to find hidden treasures. There was an old tradition among the Seminoles that Florida had been at one time inhabited by a civilized or semi-civilized race, and that they were mostly artisans, although let me move this. How do I move it? Sorry guys, this is like my very first video. I'm really trying. Although great or amass great treasures which were always buried with them. We do not something at liberty to give Mr. Zerma's statement in full, but we do wish that we had a few Indian mounds to open. So yeah, they're finding all kinds of crazy stuff in the 1800s. Lots of petrified warriors, lots of, interesting things. And it reminds me of the DeSoto expedition in the 1500s when they came into like that general Gainesville area. And they had recorded that there was a tribe that had a golden city, and some of the arrowheads were like dipped in copper and gold, and they had breastplates of gold, and the temples were all lined with gold. So, this could be part of that habitation. And I think that's all I have for today. I'm going to be looking into a few more mound sites and digging up some more history and maybe sharing my Google Maps that I've been keeping with plotting all of the mounds. I live in South Florida. There's many around where I live in Fort Pierce. I go to them every day because they're just beautiful energy. There's pottery everywhere. I mean, you could just take a step and pick up 10 pieces of pottery here. But it's absolutely beautiful. I know there's more to Florida history than what meets the eye and what we've been told. Old World Florida Channel has some awesome stuff going on with Florida history. And yeah, that's all I have for today. Have a great one, everyone.